Blanchette is a French sharing concept restaurant in the heart of Soho. We want it to feel instantly fun, warm. We want people to be happy here, not stuffy, leave having a great time. My first sort of work experience in a kitchen, I remember just how exciting the kitchen was, you know, the noise, the service, you know, the shouting, the waiters coming and going, you know. I just got caught up in the whole thing. It's 2 tartare, 2 trout, 1 green beans. I think compared to most jobs, I'd much rather work in a kitchen all day than sit behind an office desk. The passion fruit Vacherin is a combination of meringue, chantilly cream, and then fruit and or a sorbet. So it can be lots of different flavor variations, but at Blanchette we have passion fruit. The first stage of the process is to make sure your equipment is clean. I always wipe out with half a lemon because it counters any grease. So if you have any oil or grease on your equipment, your meringue won't work. The important things to remember when you're making a meringue, doing it by hand isn't really going to happen. You need a decent machine that will whisk the meringue for you. Another trick is to add a small amount of white vinegar and corn flour. It helps stabilize and strengthen the egg white. You need to dry them in a very low oven for about 3 hours. So you could make that the day before or even the week before and keep them in an airtight container. Samage, 1 frog's legs to follow, 1 tartare, 1 trout, 1 lamb, 1 frite. Stage 2, after about 2.5 hours, we want to check the meringue. Remove one from the oven and leave it to cool, and then break it open. So if you go to a restaurant and you have a very hard meringue, you push your fork through and it jumps off the table. We don't want that. We want a nice gooey center with a crispy outside. When they've reached that point, we stop cooking them. Stage 3, we're going to make some creme chantilly. It's pretty simple. Just get hold of a nice, good quality, fresh vanilla pod, scrape it out, stir it into some double cream with a little bit of icing sugar, and just whip it to hard peak. Stage 4, to make the sorbet, we're going to make a sugar syrup. We're going to mix it with some passion fruit puree. And a little trick, if you haven't got a professional ice cream machine, is once it's cold, to whisk in maybe 1/4 of an egg white, and it will make the sorbet much lighter. For those who don't have an ice cream machine, I would just head down to the supermarket and buy a good quality sorbet. If you can't find passion fruit, then just buy strawberry. You can always make a strawberry sauce, and then you're going to end up with a strawberry Vacherin. The final stage, 5, we're just going to buy a couple of fresh passion fruits, scoop out the insides and sweeten it with a little bit of icing sugar. Things to look out for when you're making the dessert is meringue is quite sweet, so the counterpoint is the sharpness of the passion fruit. You don't want to just load the cream with sugar. You need a nice balance of sweet and sour. There's nothing worse than over sickly dessert. I stumbled upon this recipe for the meringue itself a couple of years ago, and ever since I found the recipe, it's been a regular on my menus. In the winter, it'll add freshness to your menu, and in the summer there are so many things you can do with it, whether it's strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. This honestly is a dish that works any time of the year.